Hey, good morning, guys. So it's Wednesday, September 5th, the morning video. Um, there's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot to talk about. If you left off on my night video last night, I had suffered one of my migraines, and that was pretty much going to put me out of action for the night, which it did. So my day in Tulsa was relatively not a lot of people I got to engage. One of the things that did happen, there were two things that were of somewhat decent significance, which I talked about last night, was the interview with Fox News and the reaching out by Mark Chestnut to manager at his concert at the Hard Rock tonight. I want to talk about both of those actually, but really the one to talk about the Fox News thing. I'm appreciative certainly of any news clip and coverage that it would give Point to Thumb Journey, except, and I don't mean this bad towards anybody or any reporter or anything else, but I woke up this morning and I had the news on and it came up and I got to see it, and man, I gotta be honest, I was completely disappointed by it, because the last thing I want is for you guys to think, well, let me tell you. So basically, it was a very short clip, and it basically said that Smith is walking across the country because he became angry and wants to show his kids differently. And they had a sound clip, and the sound clip said, I've had some nights where I've slept outside and I've met some bad people, and cut. So if anybody here in Tulsa is hearing about my journey, it seems to be completely negative. That here's some bitter, angry guy walking across the country, and he's had bad experiences and met some bad people and slept outside. When frankly, in case any of you that don't know, and this is for you folks of Tulsa, that's the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, I did say those words, don't get me wrong, but there's a part of it afterwards that I said, I've slept outside some nights and met some bad people, but it's been overwhelmingly positive. I've met a lot of great people, and it's been, if you've ever heard me and you go back through all my videos, it's 99% positive of the folks I've met and the way people have reached out to me, to the point that I don't even have to worry about teaching my kids about the goodness of humanity. I have plenty of stories about that's where the focus of Pointing the Thumb Journey goes on. And the clip didn't mention anything about the Point the Thumb message, and I don't know what's on the website. It didn't have anything about my email address or the website. I thought, and when I first woke up this morning, because I took some medication last night, so I was out of it. When I woke up, normally if I get a little news clip, I get 5, 10, 15 people saying, hey, saw you in the news, really like what you're doing, I'm following you, or something like that. And I got nothing. And again, I guess I could see why, because people wouldn't know where to search me up or anything like that. So honestly, I'm disappointed that's the message that people are receiving. I'm not here to criticize the coverage. I appreciate the coverage. I just think that there's so much more that could have been covered in that instance, and maybe it's a lesson to be learned that there's so much positivity that's happened on this journey. It's been phenomenal. And then, like I said, to have none of that, to kind of have it that he's angry. What I always say is I started to get a bit jaded, a bit cynical, even a little bit angry whenever people ask, is what I say about myself. And that's what caused me to take the journey, is I had to point the thumb at myself. My daughter's words to me made me point the thumb at myself and realize I'd become somebody I didn't like. And I can blame others for feeling that way, or I could do something for myself and my children, and maybe the world in a small way. So that's the bit about the news that really, I guess, is it's not going to bother me. I just want to set the record clear is all I want to do. All right. So to those listening, if there's anybody in Tulsa that's listening, I've had nobody, not one person from Tulsa. Usually some people hear about me ahead of time with social media and say, hey, I heard you're coming through town. I'd love to meet you. You can see on my Facebook page that it's filled with that kind of thing. I've had no interaction with Tulsa, which leads me to my next topic. So I did get a really cool thing yesterday. Was Mark Chestnut's a country artist that's performing up at the Hard Rock Cafe back on the outskirts of Tulsa towards Catoosa. his management reached out to me yesterday and said, "Hey, we got a ticket there waiting for you and a meet and greet pass. We don't know how to get you back there though." So, and so that's kind of the decision I'm making right now. I'm 16 miles past Hard Rock. I know a couple people from back home have reached out and said, "We'll get you an Uber," but I don't know that that's the solution. I appreciate the offer, but again, I want to meet people in the area. I don't want the story to be I got friends from back home. I can get an Uber myself. That's not the story. I'm looking to find out if there's people in Tulsa that say, "Hey, it's a pretty good story," and love to share it with them. The problem is there's nothing Tulsa doesn't even know about me right now. The little bit of news coverage made me seem like an angry guy that hasn't had any hospitality whatsoever. And so now I'm kind of faced with this decision what to do today. The weather's supposed to be spotty with chances of rain this afternoon. Again, I want to head west to finish up and get home for my kids. I think it'd be a great opportunity to go to the show and talk to Mark Chestnut maybe, and even tell him a little bit about my journey if he'd listen. But money's tight. I don't have anything arranged for tonight as a place to stay. If I walk 15, 16 miles, thinking 16 miles back that way, I'm going to be sweaty and disgusting, and who wants to go sit through a concert and meet somebody completely sweaty and disgusting? I don't have a shower or anything like that to go into. So these are little things that I'm trying to wrestle with. On one hand, I think there's shuttle buses from the casino somewhere from hotels here in Tulsa. I imagine there would be. So I didn't know. I had said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if somebody reached out to the Hard Rock and kind of said, hey, this is, this guy would like to do this. Is there any way you can get a shuttle to him or something?" But that never took place. Only thing that took place was that I guess I'm angry and sleep outside and people have been bad to me. Again, for the record, guys, yeah, I've had a couple, not so great nights and a couple not so great people, but it's been overwhelmingly positive. So it sits here at 7:30 in the morning, my time. This is the kind of thing I'm wrestling with. I've got nothing ahead of me but walking. In terms of any, sometimes people reach out and say, "Hey, when you come into town, we'd love to meet you, stop here," or the Chamber of Commerce, or some people have heard about me, you stay with a friend and they send me a Facebook page, "We'd love to meet you." I've got nothing like that. The next town up, that's about 16 miles from here, that I'd be staying is, I think, called Sapulpa. So again, I could leave Tulsa and continue my journey west with the unknown, but at least I'd be moving in the right direction. I could stay kind of here in town, hoping to meet people and engage people, but walking through town yesterday, I didn't meet a whole lot of people. It was hustle and bustle and strip shopping centers and I don't know. There wasn't a lot of engagement whatsoever. A few people, but not a lot. Certainly not what you expect from a city the size of Tulsa. I looked at going into the VFW, but they were closing at 4 p.m. And by that time, my migraine was full blown. And I looked them up at 1:30 in the afternoon. So I guess I got a lot of unknown ahead of me here for the day. So these are things that wrap up my mind. So I'm going to be trying the next hour to reconcile as I clean up. What do I do? Do I move forward west with an unknown? Do I stay in town here? And I don't know. There's nowhere to go. If I stay in town, I could walk backwards to the Hard Rock. That might be a story. But again, with nowhere to go, being sweaty and disgusting, I don't even know if a casino would let me in with a backpack. I don't know security rules and things like that. So, to walk 16 miles the other direction, have to double back the next day. I don't know what the gamble is there. So, anyway, that's about it. So there's my reach out to Tulsa. But again, I don't know anybody here, so it's hard to have anybody in Tulsa watching me to even hear this video. So it's been an interesting couple of days. On top of that, in case last night I had a little bit of my last bit of cash or reserve that I could use to get a room, because I couldn't spend outside last night with my head the way it was and the medication and the way I was feeling. In fact, the guy got shot and killed 8 blocks from where I'm staying right now. But it wasn't a random thing. It wasn't like a gang random thing. It was just a local dispute and somebody got shot. So anyway, somebody asked me to talk about this. I'll try to wrap it up real quick. I thought this would be a quicker video. It's not. It never is. I've always had this dream, this fantasy kind of thing that says, imagine if we lived in a world where There is no childhood sicknesses. It's not even elders. There's no cancer. There's no Alzheimer's. There's no anything, right? There's no illnesses. We all get to live a healthy, happy life. But the trade-off, there's a trade-off. The trade-off is at 70 years old, you have an expiration date. We just kind of do that, right? 70 years old, we know it's coming. You know, maybe it's unfair we'd only live to 70 years old, but think about how we would live, and think about the fact that we would be able to get to say goodbye to everybody we want to say goodbye to. We would actually probably, as a society, start to celebrate death and party as we go, as opposed to, you know, the mourning of people's lives that we do now because we mourn a loss, when I think we should be celebrating, or I'd like to think we could celebrate the lives we had with them. Anyway, so I keep forgetting that I get more followers and more people as I go. So even though I've done this particular speech before, or this sharing before, it's been way back. So, but there's a message at the end of this thing, and the message is this: imagine, as I said, nobody gets sick. So there's all of that wonderful part that nobody gets sick at all. And yeah, the trade-off is at 70, you know, we expire. They ask you this: if you lived in a world where you know at 70 years old that you had an expiration date, would you live your life any differently? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. I'm 50 years old right now. I'd have 20 years left. That clock on the wall would be ticking, right? That clock on the wall would be ticking. And I would want to get as much done with my loved ones as possible. If I knew that, do you think I'd have time to be angry and arguing with people, or fighting with people, or trying to not appreciate the people we love and live with? Right? Do you think I'd be mad at the guy that maybe cut me off in traffic? I got bigger things to worry about, man. My clock's ticking right now. Do you think I'd have time to get caught up in ridiculous television shows about teen moms and different families, and that I don't know. I know I certainly wouldn't, right? I'd look at that clock on the wall and go, man, it's going down every day. You know, let me spend some time with my loved ones and my family, and share some time and let the people know how much I love them and appreciate them. Let me kind of take that travel on a trip, and let me go see that town I never saw, that tourist attraction I never saw. So my question to you guys is this: if you play along with me for a minute, if you can just close your eyes and imagine living in a world where there's no sickness, no pain, and everybody lives happily and kind of a Stepford world, would you live your life any differently? And if your answer is yes, then that's the message. Why aren't you? We all have an expiration date. We're not promised tomorrow. Okay? I might not be here tomorrow. So why do I want to live today getting wrapped up in negativity and minutia and badness and you know, just devoting my time and energy to something other than the ones I love and the ones I want to share with and the ones I care about? So I'll leave you guys with that. That's kind of my message for the day. I do love you guys. Kira, Landon, you two better listen and hear what I said last night and this morning, please. All right? That's not cool, what went down. All right? I love you guys so much, though. I do. I truly do. So thank you for sharing with me and let me talk to you guys about that, all right? Grace, I love you too, baby. Guys, have a great day. And like I said, I don't know if you want to reach out to me on my Facebook or my email or anything. You have any suggestions or thoughts, please feel free, because I don't know what's going to be going on today. By the time you even get this, that hour of me cleaning up and making a decision will probably be gone. So that's where we're at. All right, guys, happy Wednesday, and we'll go from there. Take care now.